Adjust my camera. Hey guys, welcome to the Drag and Drive show presented by Summit Racing. Guys, this is episode 30. I am
Sir.
freaking pumped about tonight. We have a lot of fun. We are going to go over a ton of stuff. Um, really just I don't know. Event updates. Drag week is coming up. We're going to talk about the Drag and Drive World Champion, all kinds of fun stuff. And then we also have, I don't know, a car that's gonna change the way people I think it's going to drop some jaws when we get to drag race. So we're going to go over that here in just a little bit. Let's get this thing kicked off. Guys, I'm here with Dave Teresi, Mr. Energy.
Oh, yeah, I'm psyched to be here. Thanks for having me. And I'm
Oh, we're looking this for a 6 something. That's
Excited you're here. It's going to be a ton of fun. Great weather.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited about this right here. All right. So it is on, guys, episode 30. I want to introduce myself. My name is Mike Narks. I am the host of the Drag and Drive show and news. I'm a Drag and Drive statistician, promoter, and I'm a Drag and Drive addict. And I'm about to get a fix here in the next few weeks. Eric, tell them who you are and let's get this thing started.
I am Eric White. I am co-host for Drag and Drive Show, Drag and Drive News, and outside of that, I run my own channels and social medias, which is 815 LSX Swaps.
That's right, dude. And you're a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. We have been slammed. So, guys, there is no guest tonight because I'm going to be gone a lot, like 17 of the next 19 days. So, we're gonna run through this stuff, and then I'm gonna go and spend some time with my family, and then Friday morning I'm on the road. So, I want to start the show off by saying thank you to all of our race car friends, guys. We could not do this without you. Your comments and likes and shares and all that stuff is really cool. But guys, just being able to go to an event and see you guys there and big hugs and high fives and all that kind of stuff all week make it all worth it. I promise you. And then want to say thank you to our sponsors as well: Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all couldn't do it without them either. They just don't get as involved as you guys do. We post up these comments and questions and things like that, and you guys just come a running and help us kind of explain some stuff. We're going to actually talk about some tech tips tonight and go through all that. So let's get started with it. But we're going to start first with event coverage and who's going where and oh man, what all is going on. So Eric, kick us off with what you have going on here, which has kind of changed in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so this Saturday and Friday and Saturday is the Central Illinois Streetcar Shootout. Now, this isn't a drag and drive event, but a couple of our drag and drive friends are going to be attending. So that's kind of
Oh
what
yeah.
caught my attention. So Kyle Beaumont's going to be there in his Firebird, and Emily Ballard is going to be there in her Camaro. So this is going to be at Byron Dragway. The big race is going to be Saturday, and there's a bunch of classes, just kind of a bracket style race. I can't
Yeah,
remember
this
if it
is
was
this
prep
is a
or no
pretty
prep.
big deal. Yeah, I met Joseph Lay, I think is the guy that runs this, and dude, he's really pushing. He wants some shootout type stuff and more cars racing. So that's a great event.
Yeah, there's looked like quite a few cars registered, but
Mhm.
obviously these are a couple of our drag and drive friends that I
Oh
noticed,
yeah.
so went ahead and put those up here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this event. Still trying to figure that out because I will be there the next weekend as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute too.
Yep. So
Um,
Dwayne Roll will be there. It's a radial prep. That's what it is. Yep.
Nice. That's cool. Well, we know his car is fast. It was on Six Summer, I think, earlier this year, or think it was Six Summer, and got to hang out with them and spend some time kind of around that car. So really nice. This is a great event. And earlier in the year, Kyle Beaumont had hosted a drag and drive portion for this event, and actually had 10 cars sign up for that. So that was pretty cool to see all that as well.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Oh no, did I not put Drag Week in here? Oh man, I worked on that artwork and didn't even put it in there. Dadgummit. Hey, listen, that's the way it works, man. Sometimes you just mess things up. So before the Betway Carolina Nationals, there is a large event called Hot Rod Drag Week, the OG, the grandfather of them all. Guys, I'm leaving Friday morning at like probably 9 a.m. and it's at least 15 hours for me to get there. So I
Whew.
want to drive as far as I can on Friday, which is probably I'm hoping for a 10 to 12 hour stint on Friday, and then that way I can get up Saturday and just roll in the last few hours easy and get there and watch, because Darlington is actually hosting a PDRA race all day Saturday. So I'm going to go ahead and get checked in and get all my stuff set up and find me a camping spot and all that kind of stuff. And for Saturday, and then I'm hoping, if anybody knows Mike Carpenter from Drag Illustrated, he is supposedly going to be there. And so if you know him, I've sent him an email. But if you know him, you may say, "Hey, you need to catch up with Mike." That'd be awesome for me to get in touch with them, guys. Drag Illustrated, they push the envelope and preach the gospel, as Wes Buck says all the time. So it'd be awesome to at least see Mike and get another selfie like we did at Sick Week 2022. And then
So
go ahead.
the reason that your picture is missing, by the way, is because you left that slide empty, and then I went ahead and put my pictures in there. Otherwise, you probably would have remembered. But
Nice.
that's what we do. We're busy and we're running around last minute trying to get all of our
Well,
stuff in here.
I'll tell you, I wrote a lot of the show today, and I only was able to spend about 3.5 hours today because we're getting really close on this C10 truck with Steven, and really probably have spent too much time out there working on that, and then getting packed up and getting everything ready here. So the Betway Nationals is the Saturday and Sunday after Drag Week. So that Saturday and Sunday, the 850 cars from Drag Week have been invited to come up to ZMAX, or well, I don't know how to word this, but there were several 850 racers invited to come up to ZMAX and actually run exhibition runs during the Betway Carolina Nationals. And we're going. So I'm going to be there with, thank you to Brian Acton and Jay Blanchard of Fast Act Racing. They got me some crew passes, so I'll be able to be on the line, actually, recording them and watching all of the progress. So it's really cool. I think there's 8 or 10 folks. They'll take the top 2 qualifiers that run as close to 860 as possible. They'll take those 2 qualifiers and they will race heads up on Sunday for a Wally. So that's pretty cool. I'm really pumped that they're going to be able to be in the running for that. And I know that Brian and Jay have been testing a bunch this year. They've been to a ton of events, but they've been testing for 860 stuff as well. I mean, that's probably an easier number for them than 850. I think the way they come out swinging at the event the other day, or at the track the other day. I don't know if they were at an event. So pretty
So
cool.
so if you're a crew member and
Mhm.
if they win, does that mean, part of that Wally is also yours then?
Well, listen, moral support is going to be there for sure. Moral and yeah, support. Yeah,
859.97, 859.93, 861.16.
yeah, yeah. Jay definitely has it. They haven't figured out that car. They have a ton of passes on that car this year alone in drag and drive trim and 850 trim, and have just really shown out. I'm excited to see them compete at Drag Week. They're going up against some real strong competition in the street race small block power adder. Mark Campbell's coming back. This is a little off the beaten notes here than what I wanted to talk about, but Mark Campbell's coming back, and he ran the first 2 days the 850s, and he's coming back with the same car. So that'll be good. Dustin and Steve Trans are coming. I mean, we're going to have another. That's 3 of the top 850 guys right there, just off the top of my head. So
Do you know how
I'm
many passes
excited
they're
to see
going to
those.
get at this at ZMAX to get the 860?
By the way, I see it on the schedule. It looks like they may get 2 qualifying rounds.
Okay.
So they'll have to hit it right out of the gate. The benefit is ZMAX is an hour or it's 100 miles north of Darlington, so hopefully a lot of the same atmosphere type stuff will work. But you're going to a certainly different facility than what we're going to have at Darlington. Darlington and Drag Week and all drag and drive prep is typically kind of a test and tune, a little better maybe than test and tune prep on the last day. But you go up to an NHRA event, those guys, they don't care about the street. They're not worried about averages. They're worried about making the best, very best pass they can.
Right.
But it ought to be pretty cool to watch that go down. And I've never been to an NHRA race, so I'm kind of excited about that too, and to be able to, talk about some of the drag and drive folks that are there with some of the spectators that are going to be there is going to be great. So obviously that's it's a good thing for the NHRA to do for the drag and drive community. Appreciate that a lot. So
Absolutely.
all right, and then dude, that same weekend that I'm doing the NHRA stuff, what are you doing?
Yep, I'll be here at Byron, which is only about half hour, 45 minutes for me. It's my local track. I'll be here for One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend. So there's 5 classes there. I'm going to be there taking pictures. I'm going to get some good videos. Plan is to do a bunch of shorts, but I think I'm also going to try to put together maybe a full-length video for this.
Nice.
Not nothing too crazy, but
Yeah.
capture some good passes and maybe some walk arounds of the pits. Again, I'll only be there for the one day, but I'm going to get as much content on that day as I can. Going to reach out to the promoters and Byron and see if I can't get some type of media pass so I can get out there and get all the good shots.
Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure Nathan is going to be good for that. I think he'll definitely let you get in there and get right on the line. That's one of the main things, And then also, there's going to be a lot of racers that are there that don't attend anything else except this.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of. I think they said they had 20 that are coming, and then 28 folks returning that have done a One Guy's Garage Drag Weekend before. So
Yep.
one thing that was really cool when we were in Byron for, I think, 6 summer, there were a ton of drag weekend shirts. So I'm really excited for you to go up there. The new drinking game. How many times can we say excited tonight?
There'll be a lot.
Yeah. It's a good thing. We are excited about this year. And then of course the next event is obviously King of the Open Road in Tucson, Arizona. So some West Coast fling going that way. Guys, this is a big deal. So Jared Holt and the team at King of the Open Road have done a great job over the last few years. This is 200 miles. It is a heads up setup. So you essentially drive on Friday, come back, run some qualifying runs, and then race heads up Saturday and Sunday for your classes. Now, 200 cars is what is the limit on this. And what I don't know. I'm telling you, I think they're going to have some really, really, really cool stuff that we've never seen. Like the Viper that's on here is one of the craziest cars I've ever watched at a drag and drive event. So I don't know if it's going or not, but it's cool to watch at Oklahoma City for sure. So this is their first venture outside of doing an event at Thunder Valley Raceway Park. So I'm really pumped to see what happens now. This is their big stepping stone. This is where they take off in the direction of maybe 10 a year. And I spoke with Dustin Cottle earlier in the Unlovable Chevy Love, and they're going to this will make their 6th drag and drive event in 2023, dude.
Yeah.
6th event in 2023.
That is wild.
So crazy, man. So I'm really excited about that. They've got several other events planned for the rest of the year too. So good luck to Dustin and Don Cottle. That's going to be a really cool story when they get back, and I'll have to get over to Tulsa and see those guys.
Have we talked to Destroyer to see if he's going to be in the neighborhood at all that weekend?
I haven't. I actually messaged him way back when they first announced this, and he was like, "Man, I'll see if I can do it," but I haven't talked to him since then. So you and I can text him after this and see what he's got going on, or if he's in here somewhere tonight, maybe he can chime in. I know he's been really busy with the Destroyer1320.com and all of their protective straps for the Mopars, y'all.
Dude, they were at SEMA.
Yeah. If you don't want to get your Mopar stolen, Destroyer1320.com. So just go there.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, so that's the 24th. That ends. We have one day break. We have the 25th where nothing is happening. And then we have September 26th kicks off the first ever Redwood Rally. And this picture here is actually the trophies. So how cool is that? I mean, dude, that the trophy game in 2023 has been stepped up for sure. This is really neat. The team at Redwood Rally is going to put on a great event. I have a feeling this is going to be one of the ones that goes down in history and will be the first one of many that they host for sure.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty decent route that they got up there too.
Oh man, yep. I love this setup here. They're running, along the coast. They're going to be inland a bunch. I mean, they've got some really good route stops and good tracks from what I've seen. So they will run. I'll explain this real quick. They will be running an 8th mile day. So for our world champion points and the top 100 and all of our standings, I'll take the times from that 8th mile day and use the Wallace Racing calculator from 8th to quarter mile, and I'll populate those, and that will be your Drag and Drive Addiction or dragandrive.com average for that week. So I'm sure I'll go through that explanation about 2,800 times between now and the end of the year, but that's what it'll be. And then, guys, race week. No, back to the streets. Nope. See, that's what happens. I I messed up. I messed back to the streets, dude. So back to the streets. Obviously, I'll be flying out to Detroit on the 28th. It is the 29th, 30th, and October 1st. It is in Detroit. So Milan is the racetrack for day one. No prep. Heads up. Elimination style. So Matt has a really cool setup to where you're going to actually be racing. Winners will race winners, losers will race losers. So heads up eliminations Friday at Milan, Saturday at Lapeer, and then Sunday back at Milan. But it's real. Let me get my notes pulled back up because him and I were talking earlier. He's worked out. There's a racer coming in Friday evening named Peso that hosts a bunch of drag and drive event or hosts a bunch of drag race events. And it is going to be a full prep event. That's why we're racing back of the track on Sunday. So when we come in so the plan is to come in on Saturday night. And actually, if you wanted to do some grudge racing and things like that, you could during Peso's event to run, grudge races, get some extra passes in for the weekend and things like that. So that's kind of exciting. And then all participants of Back to the Streets get free entry into Milan on Saturday night if they want to come and hang out and watch that event. So that's going to be really cool. And then obviously Sunday being back of the track, Chuck Be Humble is going to be flagging. That'll be the first time I've ever done like a back of the track event. So this is it's a lot of stuff going on here. And then Monday morning, I'll fly from Detroit to Denver, $54 ticket. Insanely cheap, $54. To meet up with the race week crew, and they're coming to Bandimere for I think their first day at Bandimere, and they'll actually do two, and then I'll jump in and ride with folks the rest of the week and take content from race week. So it's going to be pretty intense. Couple 19 days there.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty busy. So the only
Yeah.
day in that span is the 25th, where there
Yeah.
is no drag and drive.
That's exactly right. So 19 days, there's one day without a drag and drive event.
So I'm
It's
just saying, should we do a special show on the 25th?
well, so I'll be driving will be the struggle. So I'll be on my way home. But I mean, dude, listen, if we can make some notes, and you can feed them to me as I'm driving, then hey, listen, I'll go live for 6 hours. I don't care. There's going to be a ton of stories that we could talk about from Drag Week and the Carolina Nationals, and you go into one guy's garage, and heck, we can have folks on from the Tucson event, and it's going to be pretty wild. So I think we ought to do that. We ought to do it sometime in the afternoon on Monday. Maybe I can get it started, and then when you get home, you can jump in and revitalize my tiredness, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it might be
Um,
interesting. While
oh
you're driving, just jump on and do a little bit of live stuff.
yeah, put a suction cup on the windshield and drive along. As I began to put all of this together, I realized there's going to be a lot of drag and drive racers taking place in these events over the next few weeks. And guys, 950, at least 950, maybe 900. I don't know. I don't know the final count on a few of the events, but based on what I've heard and what I've seen, 950 racers in the next 19 days, next 21 days, will be attending a drag and drive event.
Not only that, that they'll be on the streets going through
Yes.
small towns. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's going to be a lot of racers going through
Yeah.
these different cities.
Yeah. Small town America. Like we've talked about this in the past, and you look back at what there were 5 events on some weekend in June across the world, and how much it's grown just since then, with the people talking about it online, and news outlets putting things together, PRIs talking about drag and drive. What's it going to be now? I mean, we're fixing to take over small town America in the next 3 weeks. What is it going to be like by the middle of October, when all these people have seen 900 plus 950, maybe 1,000 cars, cool hot rod cars driving around in different parts of the country. Just looking at this here, you got South Carolina for Drag Week. You've got Redding, California, and that whole part of the West Coast for Redwood Rally. You've got Colorado to Nebraska for Race Week. You've got Detroit for Back to the Streets, and you've got the Midwest with Byron and Cordova and Tri-State for One Guy's Garage.
Illinois and Iowa.
Yeah, that it's going to be absolutely intense. So
And
again, I've said it all the time. I love drag and drive.
And I was looking at the back to the streets route and talking to Matt. It sounds like not only the route stops are going to be cool, but they're going to be going right past the Henry Ford Museum that I was at.
Yeah.
And I looked like they'll be going right past Sick Pizza. So
Yep.
not only is there going to be cool route stops, there's going to be cool things along those routes. So it'll be
Yep.
interesting to see if people stop off at kind of different places just because there's so much cool stuff.
You actually say that. And yesterday, Matt and I were conversating, and I've decided to do a scavenger hunt
I
for
was
the
just
racers
thinking
back to
that.
the streets. So you were at the circuit, you saw how much fun people had with that. So I'm going to award $100 bill to the person and team that gets the most points on a scavenger hunt. So we have oh yeah, I forgot Coder in Arizona on
Yeah.
the thing here. I have it in the count, but I forgot the logo. We had the scavenger hunt, there's about 45, 50 items on the list. And so we'll basically pick it up Saturday after your races, and then drive to Milan. And then you'll have to turn in your scavenger hunt points. I don't know, 7 or 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that. We'll pick a time, and then we'll award the winner right there on the spot and give them the money. So it really is a fun way to, I don't know, reward your co-pilot. It really makes you look at the side of the road a lot more. There's a lot of goofy stuff on there, like a team member standing in a pool of water, and it's worth more points if it's not a bathtub. So that's, or a swimming pool. And so that's, a lot of things, bathtubs being outside, toilets being outside. I think we're probably going to see some of those. And
It got pretty competitive at the circuit.
oh man, wow. There was a lot of folks around 1,500 points. So this ought to be pretty crazy. This won't score that high because I don't have that many. I didn't make that mistake this time. Last time I was like, hey, if you see an animal statue, take a picture of it. It's worth 5 points. And that got out of hand.
Yeah.
So, there was one lady that got everything on there except for a bride and groom. So the bride and groom is still on there. So that ought to be pretty fun, being that it's the weekend. So anyways, I'm excited about that. So yeah, 950 drag and drive racers over the next 19 days, 21 days. So pretty crazy. All right, on to the next. We talk about tech tips quite a bit. We went over some of those in a post that Eric put up the other day. The first one I want to give you, this is a survival tip, not a tech tip. This is hydrate. Please drink water, drink Gatorade, drink Pedialyte. That's one of the greatest ways to do that. And drink just a little less beer between now and the time you get to drag week, and replace that with some water. Because here's the thing, we're going to have time to drink beer in the parking lots. That's going to happen. But you've got to be prepared beforehand. And if you can drink one more bottle of water today, or one more bottle of water a day than you do now, it'll only help that much more, especially right before bed. Take a big drink. You get up in the middle of the night anyways to pee because you're an old man like I am. And then as soon as you wake up, if you will drink 8 to 10 ounces as soon as you wake up, your coffee will hit harder, I promise. So just drink more water or Gatorade or Pedialyte or something before you go. And then obviously once we're there, you've got to do that all the time. You've got to be drinking water. You've got to be eating stuff because snacks play a big role in you surviving the week, really, like beef jerky, granola bars, some kind of quick snack that you can throw in the cooler. You've got to stay hydrated and fed. You've got to. There's no way around it. It's one of the biggest things that you can do to keep your wits about you. Really, it's probably the best way to say it, and not get at the end of the week just be beat. That's probably the biggest problem folks have is there's a noise in the car, you can't think straight, you have had no sleep, and now you are trying to figure out, oh man, what is wrong with it? Turns out it's a broken flex plate, and you tear the whole top end of the motor down, and still have to pull the trans to do a flex plate. So
To put it simply, the car is not the only thing that needs to make it to the end of the week.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then along with that stuff is also, this is more tech tip, but Frank Bruno had a post. He asked opinions on belly pan, leave it on or take it off for the drive. Jeremy Ortiz, Howie Price in the big wagon, Matt Walter, Bob Bartram, Dan Jackson, Bill Fowler said they all leave it on when they're driving. But Bill Spangler and Matt Walter both made the comment, said, make sure you drain it if you hit any kind of water on your drive before you get on the track. And Tom Bretz actually said he learned his lesson the hard way when he almost put his 56 Chevrolet in the wall at Drag Week 2021, had a full pan of water. And as he launched, it all came out, got under his tires, said he almost took out the timing tree. So that's pretty crazy. So if you have a belly pan, make sure that you have, you drain it when you get to the track. But from what everybody was saying, it didn't affect their oil temps enough that they cared to take it off. There's a lot of folks saying we leave it on because we're lazy. I mean, somebody's 8 or 10 degrees on oil temp. So it'll just come down to your particular setup.
And right on cue is Jay saying that they have a diaper. They roll it back during the drive. It will reduce oil temps. Hashtag data is king. And he said we care 50 degrees or more.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, one of my Found on Summit Racing segments tonight is an engine diaper. And then Jeff, I cannot remember how to say his name, but I'm going to butcher it here. Dugapolski. Anyways, he
Looks
had a great tip. Yeah. I mean, he said, check your car over before the trip. Okay. He said he checked his last night and found his oil pan bolts were loose. His right front tire valve was loose and leaking, and the rear upper control arm bushings had pushed out the rear end housing, and both front brake rotors to mounting bolts were loose. Brake rotor to hub mounting bolts were loose. So, do that once over. Spend that 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's going to take maybe 30 and be ready to go. Or put that on your list to do once you get to the track when we get down there. Maybe you get there Saturday and you do that first thing, unloading it off the trailer or something like that. And he also said remove last year's numbers from your windows to help speed up the tech process. And somebody had replied to him and said, hey, when you do that, don't Rain-X yet, because the new stickers won't adhere to the Rain-X.
Now those are tech tips there, right?
Yeah, that's a full-on tech tip. And then, guys, we've talked about Eric Grillo and the Molly Motorsports team being such a huge part of our whole brand here. And so I'm excited to see Eric. He's bringing back the Stick Shift Nova. Last year, or at Race Week, he raced it there. He was in the 10s there. I don't remember his average off the top of my head, but he'll be back at Drag Week because this is essentially their backyard. Like I think they're only a couple hours from Charlotte and Darlington and all those places there in North Carolina for the Molly Motorsports U.S. headquarters. So that's pretty cool. So let's play their ad real quick, and just as a way to say thank you to them.
Molly Motorsports is the official piston of DragonDrive.com. Molly's Power Pack piston is the perfect candidate for your drag and drive car. Molly Motorsports competes in drag and drive events and supports our community. Project manager Eric Grillo raced a 10-second stick shift Nova at Hot Rod Drag Week 2022. He's also competed in Rocky Mountain Race Week last year with his C10 truck. Visit mollymotorsports.com for the most recent line of products.
Yeah, love that car. And Eric's a great dude. I mean, obviously. So, all right. You ready? Dude,
Yeah, let's get into some drag week talk.
Man, so this is actually what I had this artwork done up here for. So drag week weather looks amazing, like mid 80s at every track all week, and then very low chances of water in the air. I don't know what you want to call that, but yeah, very few chances of that. So very low chances of that. I think we may end up with some of it while we're driving, but hey, that would be okay. But it looks like some of the mornings are going to be in the 50s and low 60s. So this could really be, if these tracks are on point and prepped right, this could be pretty wild to have some fun there. And Clark Lamb made a post asking, what is the tool you have forgotten or wish you packed the most? For him, it was a on 2021 drag week, he broke a rocker arm. So he said he didn't have a 7/16 12-point socket that was deep enough to take his rocker arm shafts off. Said they were the last ones at the hotel. That's where it gets you. You got to leave a little bit earlier there. So he said he had to use a short box end wrench to pull the rocker shafts, which would suck. Now he has that socket as a dedicated part in the drag week toolbox. So I thought that was a great idea. You just have it's like that's a drag week box. And then Craig Weigert said he needed a valve spring compressor. I jumped in. This picture is actually from summitracing.com. I pulled that. They are in stock. Okay. Snap ring pliers from Steve Winningham. He said snap ring pliers would have saved his butt once. They're on here. They're also in stock. And then Bill Fowler, valve lash tools. And Mike Covey says, as we were loading up all the shit and spares into the trailer one year, I commented they were going to break the car hauling around all the stuff to fix the car. Yes, that happens a lot, I would imagine. So, Devin Vanderhoof was talking a couple weeks ago, his trailer's 1,800 pounds almost, I think he said. So,
yeah,
pretty wild to pull that with a, 3,300 pound car.
right.
So, all right, so those are tools. Make sure if you have something that is specific to your car that you go get it and put it in the trailer right now. You can pause this, it's fine. You can speed back up once you get back in here, but you need that in there right now. So,
Yeah,
we talked about Eric.
And
Will be in there. Good.
Also, if there's something that you think others might forget to bring, either put it in the comments here or jump over into the Drag and Drive Addicts group and post it in there and let people know, so that if they're in there and you've got an idea of something that might save them, make sure you throw that in there and let everybody know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great tip there. And we are almost to 13,000 people in that Facebook group. It's absolutely insane to me the growth that has seen in the last few months. So thank you to everybody that's there.
And we hit another milestone on another platform
just
last night.
Yeah. You'll talk about that, or let's save that to our show on Saturday, because I think we're going to have milestones on every platform by the time we get to Saturday, because we were working our butts off to post stuff over on everything everywhere. So
that is true.
All right. And then this car here, y'all, I'm excited to see this. You see my janky little Photoshop here, but you can see on the left, this dude went from a big block to a Ford Barra in his 71 Chevelle. This is going to blow people's minds when we get there. So I've already been talking to David, messaged him a few minutes ago or a few hours ago and was like, hey, don't tell me anything else, but how big was the big block in there? It was 572 cubic inches. So this new setup is probably less than half that. I don't know what the cubic inches are on a Barra, but it's probably not much. What's Red Hat Scotty you're saying?
Another good tip here. He said, don't forget to call your credit card company and let them know about the travels so they don't lock the account as worried scams. Had that happen to him one year.
Yeah, that is a great tip. That is a great tip. And we
Dudes with
hope,
wrenches, how you doing,
yeah,
buddy?
what's up? And then we hope David Gallimore does that, even though he is from kind of in that North Carolina area. But a Ford Barra powered 71 Chevelle is going to put people on their ears, man. So I've added him to the list of folks to make sure that I talk to during the week.
Yeah, you definitely need to get some good pictures and videos of that throughout the week, shorts and
Oh,
horizontals, so we can put some stuff together. That's gonna be interesting. I think it's kind of cool and unique.
yeah. Yeah. I think this car here, and there's obviously an inline 6-cylinder from Chevrolet that he could have used, but it's way uglier than this Barra is, with huge. Anyways, I don't know if it would have fit. Anyways, but this is a really cool setup. Dude with Wrenches says a Barra is like 245 cubic inches. So yeah, way less than half. So
Yeah,
it'll be fun to see what happens here. I'm ready to see what the trans setup is and just the whole build on the car. I plan to do, this is interesting to me. This really picks my brain here. So it'll be cool to get up close and personal with that car and learn why.
yeah, that's
Mainly one of the biggest reasons. Why do you go from 572 cubic inch big block Chevrolet to a Ford Barra? It's pretty interesting.
yeah. The backstory should be pretty cool to hear.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then you guys know some of my favorite folks I talk about a lot is Steve Eden and Pete Holm. Those dudes longest running streak of completions for any hot rod drag week competitors. What's Travis Clark here saying? Said
He said, those that are watching and attending Drag Week, disable your tow rig for the week. Tow rigs and race cars disappear in this area bad.
yeah, definitely, definitely figure out some way to. Here's the thing: don't make it easy. Don't make it easy on them. If you have a way to quickly take out your ECU, do that. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of ways to get around all of that. We won't go into detail because we don't want to give those guys any kind of ideas or any way to check on it. But Steve and Pete are awesome. Longest streak of completions of any drag week competitors. I don't know if there's been anyone else in any drag and drive do 15 and complete every one of them. These guys have in the same car as well. So that's kind of cool. I do have very sad news though. Those guys won't be here for Drag Week 2023. It's I'm a little heartbroken to be honest. I messaged Pete's wife because neither of those guys are on social media. So I messaged Pete's wife asking if they were going to be there, and sadly, they stepped out of their comfort zone and did Six Summer, broke the car on Six Summer, and as hectic as Steve's shop is, it was just too much for them to get the car back together in time to do Drag Week. So this will be the first Drag Week they've missed since 2007.
That's crazy.
Every time, and they've finished and they've raced in that car. So here's the way this can go, right? They skipped this year. Obviously they'll be back in 2024. You can't keep those guys away, right? So if they finish 2024, they will still keep the streak alive of completed. They just won't all be in a row, but they still will have completed every drag week they've ever entered. So kind of a, I don't know. These are the stats that are probably too nerdy and dorky for everybody to care about, but this car's super cool. It's had a ton of different power plants, ton of different transmissions, tons of parts have broken on these events. This is not just some easy drive around car. This is a car that's built for racing and built for drag and drive. And these guys have broken stuff. They've rebuilt transmissions in hotel parking lots. They've put heads on and motors in and all that kind of stuff. So really, really a cool deal. I'd love to have them on one of the shows, but I feel like maybe that's something we need to do in person. Maybe at the end of Drag Week 2024, have them jump on and we'll just sit in a room and talk about stuff. So I feel like that's pretty cool. It's that's a neat story, and to be able to have a friend that long, and then also to be able to experience that every year, to be your guys trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What else would be cool, and I don't know if those guys attend PRI, but doing an in-person podcast at PRI would be kind of cool too.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm trying to remember if I saw Steve last year. I feel like I may have at PRI. You know, PRI where we're
Definitely,
doing that Drag and Drive Award show.
yeah,
Is that
definitely
what
worth
you're talking
reaching
about?
out and seeing though, because
Yeah.
that'd be kind of fun and something we haven't done. We've never recorded one in person.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. I'm in on that. If they are going, we're going to do that. I don't know if we got to sneak into their hotel room or not, but we'll make it awkward and fun. That's for sure.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we've got our friends at Sweet Patina. Y'all, they sponsored the Built for Dragon Drive segment because they are some of the streetiest people I know. Does that make sense when you say that?
I
I
think
don't know.
so.
They've driven that 57 Chevrolet in that picture to all 48 continental US states. They raised money for ALS. Y'all, these dudes are good dudes, and they were our first sponsor that come on board to support us. So we appreciate them. And guys, if you don't use the TKO hand cleaning wipes, what are you even doing? Are your hands even dirty when you leave the shop? Use code DND57 at sweetpatina.com to get 10% off, or you can find all their products at Summit Racing. Now, you don't get the discount, but you still get a great product. And guys, that's what we want to do. We want to help them have more products out. They have some of the coolest shirts that are available out there in the car community for sure.
Absolutely. Old
Yeah.
car guy here says hopefully he'll see us at PRI. So
Oh yeah.
that'll be cool.
Yeah, we have a booth at PRI if you guys didn't know. Booth 4746. We'll be there all afternoon Friday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, but all afternoon on Thursday because we're going to be setting up for the Dragon Drive Awards at 11 a.m. I don't know our room number yet. I think it's 209, but I got to get all that sorted out this week. I think it's 209, and then booth 4746 in the Yellow Hall will be there. I'm excited about that
I'm
one. That's
excited. It's one of my favorites.
one of my favorites. That's the first time we've used that tonight, and we need a bingo game. We need a bingo game. That's for sure. All right. Another segment we have here is found on Summit Racing, and y'all, can you see all this up there? You see all that? That is all Drag and Drive Addiction merch that's available on summitracing.com. Dude,
It's
how
pretty
cool is that?
sweet.
Oh man, it's so cool. So we have obviously, I think, oh yeah, new hats. They are. We've been waiting on those for months. They are in stock, ready to ship. The new shirt is in stock with Tommy Dupree's Firebird on it and Brian Havlick's 55 on it. And then you've got the OG shirt, the Dragon Drive Addiction logo front and back. And what people are getting ready to be using on this Hot Rod Drag Week is the hoodies.
Yeah.
Have those in stock ready to go. Y'all, this is a great quality product. Obviously, that's the way it works with Summit. But at the same time, you support us, you support them. They are a huge part of our channel. And so we would appreciate that. And anytime you're on summitracing.com, just type in drag-in-drive. It'll take you right to all this stuff. You can see it all right there. All right. And then we talked earlier about engine diapers and oil temps increasing. Y'all, do you see the arrow there where it says in stock? You could order that tonight and have it in time to put on before drag week. So you need to read the rules. You need to make sure your class doesn't require it, or the NHRA rule book doesn't require it for the speeds you are going. But it also helps the track, and
Yes.
by the track I mean other racers. So if you window your block and put oil half the track, they got to clean all that up, right? So if you have an engine diaper, that will be lessened. I'm not saying you're not going to oil down the track with some big explosion, but it will definitely be lessened. And there's been a ton of engines let go on drag and drive events with diapers and not make a mess at all. So
Right.
$129 in stock on summitracing.com. That's
Heck
my
yeah.
yeah, dude. That's my found on Summit Racing for this week.
All right, and then we'll follow that up with our found on racing junk. So this week, everything that I'm going to show is within 250 miles of Darlington. So this is all
Nice.
stuff that could be used or purchased during drag week if needed.
Right.
So first
Oh,
thing here,
yes. Fuel pump. Yes.
yep, I was looking for stuff that maybe would be useful. Maybe somebody needs a fuel pump while on drag week. So
Mhm.
here is one for $350, a Magna Fuel 500. And this is in Harmony, North Carolina. The next thing is a Race Tech data logger and Dash Pro for $400. So, sometimes issues with electronics pop up during the week. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. And if you need a tire or a whole set of tires,
Yeah.
there's a set of Hoosier drag tires and wheels for $1,800. And these are in Georgia.
Nice. Nice. Speaking of tires, Mickey Thompson should be on site, hopefully, with all their truckload and trailer tires. But this also has wheels, so that's kind of a plus there too. And again, Racing Junk Classifieds is the official buy sell trade of Drag and Drive Addiction. We don't run a buy sell trade page because it's a lot of times just a lot of brain damage. So the folks that are on the Drag and Drive Addicts Facebook group right now watching this, you'll never see those ads that you submit 5 times a day to try and put your listing up on also the Drag and Drive Addiction. We usually won't approve those. Sometimes it's a special thing, like it'll be a trailer for sale or something like that. But rarely will we ever put those up on the thing. And then
Yep.
this
And
Facebook user says belly pan saved my car at Six Summer. Yeah.
Yep, and in
Yeah.
the rules in the Drag and Drive Addicts group, we did put that no for sale posts
Yeah.
will be posted. So, but for all those that are on Drag Week, if you have an issue, obviously you'll look at other racers, you'll probably look at Facebook,
Mhm.
but don't forget to look up Racing Junk. You can search for whatever part you need and you can filter it by location. So
Yep.
figure out where you're at, put that location in, and pick 50-mile radius or whatever you're looking for and see if you can't find something on Racing Junk.
Yep. If it's here's what I would say the hierarchy of parts search is like if it's a universal kind of part, if it's something that is not specific to your car or whatever build you've got going on, the Summit truck may have it. Okay, cool. Then other racers may have it. Then you need to start looking, racingjunk.com and then Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah, that is always a good thing. And again, Racing Junk helps us with all of our promotions and all that kind of stuff. They actually put the Drag and Drive Addiction logo and banners in every mail out or every or most email chains that go out. Not email chains. What do you call that? Newsletter.
There
God
you
dang.
go.
Yeah, hang on, we're getting there. All right. And the last little bit here before we cut this one a little bit short. I know we've been going a little shorter lately, but guys, I'm going to be gone for like 17 of the next 19 days.
Yeah, that's
So
a lot.
that's a lot. So we're going to bring it back up the slides here and we're going to talk about Hot Rod Drag Week 2024 and the Drag and Drive World Champion. Hot Rod Drag Week has agreed to provide free entry to the World Champion for 2023. So cool. So now we have Southeast Street and Yeet, both Rocky Mountain Race Week and Race Week, and now Hot Rod Drag Week. So you'll have your pick of events that you want to attend as the Drag and Drive World Champion to again follow up with your, hopefully you can repeat for your Drag and Drive World Champion uh, title. All right.
Robert's
Go ahead.
saying here that Comp Cams will have a booth with some valve train parts for Drag Week as well.
That's awesome. That's great news. Robert is the co-pilot for Mark Campbell. So again, a team of guys that are fixing to come attack the 850 class, and that's really good news. So that's awesome that we'll have additional parts available, and that is one of my plans once I get there is to figure out which vendors are there, run around, and let everybody know, and they'll be at all tracks. So that's cool. All right, racers that are high in the Drag and Drive World Champion points that will also be at Drag Week. Brian Acton and Jay Blanchard, obviously, we were talking about them earlier. They are coming back. So they currently have 66 points. So, we talked last week or the week before about how they can end up in the low 100s and really be a contender if they perform very well in their class. We've got Adam Green is coming to Drag Week with intentions to do very well in SME. Now he currently has 83 points, so he's looking to better his points from Drag Week to knock off a lower point score from one of his other 3 events. We've got Graham Hayes is coming back. He's in this, I think he's 67 or 71 points, something like that, in the world champion standing.
68.
68 points. And he's coming back in this car. They're actually campaigning 2 cars again. They had 2 cars at Six Summer, and then they're having this here now, or at Midwest Drags, and then they'll be back here for Drag Week because it's in their backyard, so it makes sense. So I'm excited about that. These guys can really show out. That car is very, very fast and a very highly competitive team in that one. And then Mark Manor is coming back. He, I think, has 66 points or 64 points. So he's coming back. He is in Super Street Big Block Power Adder, I think. So, and that car is very capable of winning that class. And so, we could see several racers at the end of Drag Week with more than 100 points. Rob Courtney in probably one of the coolest cars, definitely one of my favorites, the all-wheel drive Honda Civic that's capable of 8s. So he's in the I don't remember what class he is running for Drag Week, but he's back, definitely getting some redemption. He wants to go faster this year. Last year, you'll remember he completely had the transmission disassembled and was putting 2 transmissions together to try and make one work. So he could do that. He was doing that at Indy in the pits. And so I've got a lot of coverage on that. I intend to edit that video tomorrow.
I saw that car at Byron last year, and that thing was violent on the launch, but it trapped at some crazy speeds.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say it's mid 150s pretty easy.
Yeah.
So those are the guys that are going to be at Drag Week that are currently in, like, I would say, your top tier points level for the Dragon Drive World Champion. So that's pretty cool. And then we've got, obviously, right in behind that is Redwood Rally. I don't have the list. They didn't do racer photos or posters, so I don't know who is there. I haven't been typing all that out, obviously. And so I don't know who is going to Redwood Rally. So maybe we'll have some additional additional racers that are high in points going to Redwood Rally. And then we have race week right in behind that. So it's going to be really this 3-week period, this 19-day period is going to completely change all of the Dragon Drive World Champion points. So everything you think you've got right now, you don't have.
And then you got a note here, it looks like, about Ben Neal.
Yep. The Benny's Custom Works, 63 points. He's attending race week before shipping his car back home. He's got a Nissan Cresta, something like that. He was at Midwest Drags with us.
Yep, that's a cool car too.
Oh man, yeah, he's cool. It's a whole, that car is going to be really neat. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe to Benny's Custom Works. Again, Australian that comes over here and races. So that'll be 3 events for him, 3 national level events for him this year, and then he's shipping the car back home. And I think he has some upgrades planned once it gets back to the house. But right now, that car is in Colorado.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it's staying if it's at Matt's house or one of the race week guys out there. But that's his plan, is to fly over and jump in that car.
Yeah, and would they say it was like 17,000 or something to have the car shipped over here?
Yeah,
man, that's so
wild. You just think you're expensive,
right?
Yeah, it's that's pretty wild. And this reminds me now, Matt Frost isn't in the running for the Dragon Drive World Champion, but he's coming to Drag Week in the Hulk. So the last time he was here in that car was 2014. So it's been 10 years that he's been away from Drag Week. And obviously during that time, he's been a little busy, building a complete brand around everything. 2 national level events a year, just him and June, total animals. So he was tuning his naturally aspirated setup the other day, because listen to this, they're going to pull the Pro Charger off the front of that car every day for the drive.
Oh, so wow.
It's a crank driven Pro Charger that they're going to take off every day, put a filter on the intake, and drive it like that. It's going to be so cool, man. I cannot wait.
You're going to have to get a video or something of them changing that over.
Yeah, are you kidding me? He's going to be tired of seeing me. Because what's going to be so great about him being at Drag Week is that he's usually so busy on race week and Rocky Mountain that he can't get that level of drag and drive, right? He lives it obviously because he's there and he's promoting and he's doing all that stuff. But here, I hate to say all he has to worry about, in quotations there, air quotes, is his car and his co-pilot and getting to the next track and running a good number. Now he's out to win. He full on is coming to just, I mean, lay it down. So this car ought to be pretty awesome to watch. And I'm going to be following him all week. He's another one of my racers that I've got on the list to follow all week as well. And then you guys saw the sneak peek a minute ago, but 3 years ago today, I raced in my first drag and drive. So Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 back then, 2020, when Hot Rod Drag Week canceled, Matt Frost, who we just talked about, in literally 4 days, put together an Oklahoma and Texas based drag and drive event to replace Drag Week. And I can explain how much that changed my life. Like
All of it.
before then, I was interested in drag and drive. I was interested, right? We built the Narcs cart for fun and to kind of do donuts and burnouts and drive around and give away on our Narcoleptic Customs channel and all that kind of stuff, right? And then this happened, and y'all, the last 3 years, I cannot tell you how much it's changed my life. My kids are becoming drag and drive addicts. My wife is at least receptive to me doing this. I left my job 6 weeks ago to do this full time. So it's pretty crazy that one event 3 years ago today kicked everything off. Now, before that, we were meeting with Jonathan Stonecipher on, I have a lot of videos on the Narcoleptic channel of like newbie, what to expect as a newbie. We have a lot of podcasts on that. So I need to start dropping those over here and just let you guys understand that like that is what happened right there. That me being in the tech line and then racing all week with those people, it changed my life. And I still haven't finished a drag and drive. So I raced 2020, didn't finish that year. I don't remember what happened that year. And then 2021, we broke the transmission. Um, oh, I know why I didn't finish in 2020. Jonathan Stonecipher rescued him on the side of the road. So that's the way it works. And that put me out of competition. We ended up going to the awards and things like that, but I wasn't eligible. So I have a DNF for 2020. And then 2021, we broke the trans, and the car has literally sat for 2 years out there in the parking lot. So Jay Blanchard here says, really happy to have you involved in the community, Mike. It's been a pretty surreal experience for me as well. A lot of business flows through the D&D community. That's exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here for folks that are building cars. Jay runs J Wire Solutions, wiring cars, and the wiring portion of stuff is really what scares a lot of people. And you've got to have somebody that knows what they're doing, or it's going to take you a ton of time to figure it out, So that's what Steve and I were talking about earlier today while I was wiring the C10 truck that's out there at his place. So anyways, just want to say thank you to everybody that's been a part of my journey, and welcome to everybody that is coming on now, because we have a lot of new subscribers and followers. And in even just the last day, we're up. I mean, this is probably sad that I follow this every day, but we're up 600 plus subscribers and followers across all social media just from 5 p.m. yesterday.
Yeah.
So we're really on this trajectory, and we're not backing off. That's one thing that that is apparent about Eric and I, is that once we get a little bit of momentum, that's when we turn it up even more. So if you are into drag and drive stuff and you are into cars, you need to be following us at every social media that you have, because we post different stuff everywhere. Actually, I make it a point to try not to post the same video across all platforms the same way. So there may be some of the same stuff in there, but most videos, if you follow us on Instagram and you follow us on Facebook, you'll see different stuff. And I feel like that's probably the best way to do social media, because you have so many different people finding stuff different ways that it takes a lot more time That's for damn sure.
And we got
Uh,
TikTok going again.
Yep, yep. We've posted 5 videos in the last 18 hours on TikTok.
Yep.
So it's on. That's my plan. Tons of shorts for you, tons of vertical, real style format coming from obviously your event, the events that you're attending, the events I'm attending. I mean, I really look, Sick Week 2022, we put out 70 videos to a playlist. I intend to do more than that for Hot Rod Drag Week. And we have probably at least 40 something for Midwest Drag. So there's a lot that's going on right here. And we're only getting started. I say that a lot, but it really is true.
Yeah, I mean, like you just mentioned, 17 days or 19 days. We're
Yep.
going to be putting out a lot of content over the next
Yep.
3 weeks.
Yeah. And then the 6-hour live feed on Monday while I'm driving.
Yep.
I don't know what we're gonna do there. So we're gonna figure something out though. It's gonna work. And y'all, just again, I want to say thank you so much to everybody that we call race car friends, everybody that supports us, everybody that shares and watches and likes and comments and all that kind of stuff. Thank you really from the depths of our hearts. I mean, I think Eric would feel the same way. And then thank you to our sponsors. Thank you for believing in us: Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk Classifieds. It really is true. I say this a lot to Steven, and it's probably gonna sound really dorky, but I'm like, it's us, man. Like we're doing this, we're building this,
Yeah.
we're the ones digging through all of this data to try and find what is interesting for folks out there, and that's a learning process.
Yep.
So
And all those
anyways,
people listed on the bottom are the people that jumped on board and, in our first year and really wanted to be a part of it. So,
yeah,
we appreciate that. And we get the excitement to sit here and talk about this twice a week and
yeah,
provide pictures and videos and talk to racers. It, like you said, it's really incredible. When I go to these events and meet new people, it's always awesome.
yeah,
Everybody acts like you have known them all your life, so it's
yeah.
a really great community.
Yep. And anybody will do anything to keep you in competition. I think that's what's so great about drag and drive compared to maybe some other drag racing. If somebody has a problem, they'll load it on the trailer and go home.
Mhm.
Where in drag and drive, you can't do that. You're 250 miles from your truck and trailer. So you have to figure out in the hotel parking lot how you're going to get that to the track, and that's where a lot of creativity comes in, man. We're going to be able to tell those stories as we go through the next couple of weeks. Well, guys, I want to say thanks again for hanging out tonight. You'll see us again on Saturday morning. It will be a little different show because we will both be live from events. I think I don't know what Eric has planned as far as time to leave, but again, I guess I won't be there yet. So we're doing 10 a.m. Eastern for the Drag and Drive news for this Saturday. So it's going to be, I don't know. I probably won't be there by 10 a.m., but I'll be on the road. So we'll be able to talk about that. I'll have some notes pulled up on a notepad in my car. We won't be able to do this cool setup. You'll just see the back seat of the Saturn rocket. So,
Well, if I'm not at Central Illinois Streetcar Shootout, I will be here, and I can
nice.
always run those slides and just let you drive.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, guys, thanks a bunch. We'll see you soon.
Yep. See you guys.